Right.
Oh, yeah, you must be happy, thrilled with Golden Tate.
We
I
are.
would imagine.
I think we had a good week last week.
Before you go into
Sure.
that, I just want to ask you, how does that work? So you target a guy. Go through the process. You target, let's say, Golden Tate. You say, okay, we like Golden Tate. We want to have him on our team. He comes in. From what I understand, you guys tied him up and kept him in a room thanks to a snowfall for 2 days.
Right.
But we won't go into the details. But anyway, how does that work? Go from the start.
Well, I think it really starts with the process of understanding what it is we're looking for in a player. And that involves the scouts, the coaches, everybody coming together to say, all right, what are we looking for in a wide receiver or a defensive back or a defensive end, what have you. Coming up with that position profile that says, this is the kind of skill set we need to add to our roster. Then after you have that profile, you go over the list of guys who are available. Who are the guys that are available in free agency that match that profile? And Golden Tate was a guy that matched the profile for what we were looking for in that complementary receiver to Calvin, a guy that brings a certain skill set to the table that our new coaching staff feels like they can really utilize in the offense they're going to employ. And then it's the process of recruitment and making sure that we can get him into Detroit, communicate to him what we were just talking about, which is how he fits that vision for our team, how his role is going to be defined and how he's going to be used playing alongside Calvin and now Brandon Pettigrew and Reggie Bush and Joyce Bell, and what that vision is for his productivity in the offense. And then that last little piece of the puzzle, the dollars and cents, and how that factors in.
So how does that work? How do you know that this is a 5-year, $35 million, $15 million guaranteed, whatever the numbers may be? Where do you look through the league and you slot guys, or his agent comes in? Are you doing the negotiations directly?
Yes.
Because you're an attorney. Yeah, I know people don't know that.
I've been doing a lot of the negotiations, or most of the negotiations, for the time that I've been with the Lions. So I've got relationships established across the league with those agents and representatives, and it's a process of looking at a lot of different factors. It really comes down to the basics of supply and demand, though. And you look at what receivers are worth in Golden Tate's case around the league, what recent deals that were done last year in free agency, and that gives you a gauge. But it really does come down to what other options he has, what the market is going on around him. Obviously, there were some other receivers who signed right at the beginning of free agency, and the market is still active today. And that gives you a sense of where the dollars and cents ought to come out. And then our own circumstance. How much can we afford to invest in a receiver, given all of the other things that we want to add to the equation as well? So it's a balancing of those different factors, all to the end that you want to get a deal that's fair for the player, that's fair for the team, and that still allows us to add some good players around that guy.
So the idea is everybody walk away from the table happy.
Yeah, or not. Nobody should walk away disappointed. If everybody's a little disappointed, that probably means you got the right deal. If somebody's a lot disappointed, it probably means you got the wrong one.
Have you ever had a deal where you thought you had it, and then all of a sudden, boom, the rug's been pulled out?
Oh, yeah, we've had
Any
a lot
names
of
you can mention?
No.
I didn't think so, but okay. All that time and effort, I would think, you put into something like that, and when that last second it turns, it's got to be terribly disappointing.
Well, it's a tough situation to begin with anyway, even when you're successful. We're thrilled to have Golden Tate, but we don't know how we have a vision for how it's going to work out, but until you start seeing the offense come together, until you see his role, until you know that he's not hurt, you just don't know what that return on the investment is going to be, and you want that vision to come to fruition, but you also know that there are a lot of different factors that can lead it in certain directions. And I've always said, you don't make or break your team in free agency. You can add strategically, but if you try and build your team through free agency and you have your goals of what your team's going to look like in March when the free agency bell rings, you're probably looking at the wrong things.